Welcome back to The Deep Dive. Today we are really getting into the weeds on the whole project at Manchester United under Ruben Amorim.
Yeah, we've got a pretty dense stack of sources here. They cover everything from high-stakes transfer strategy and some tactical shifts to the immediate injury crises that are really testing his vision.
And the big picture hook, the main narrative from all this, seems to be that this is a truly systemic, almost institutional rebuild now.
Absolutely. It's not about quick fixes. The focus is all on what the sources are calling the year 3 objective.
Okay, so what does that mean, year 3?
Oh, well, they basically addressed the defense in year 1, they sharpened the attack in year 2, and now it's all about solving what's repeatedly described as the team's Achilles heel.
The midfield.
The midfield.
Yeah.
That's the core mission. All roads lead right there to the engine room.
And the idea is if they get that final piece of the puzzle right, they can turn, just controlling games into absolute dominance.
But to do that, it takes this huge shift in culture. The sources call it the ruthless edge.
Ruthless edge, I like that.
It's a new era standard. We're moving away from sentimentality. It's all about defined roles, performance metrics now.
So what does that look like in practice?
Well, the sources are reporting that pretty much every senior midfielder there.
Even the big names?
Oh yeah. We're talking Casemiro, Bruno Fernandes, but also the emerging guys like Ugarte and Kobbie Mainoo. They've all reportedly been given a clear 2-year time frame.
2 years to do what?
To prove they fundamentally fit Amorim's system. The high intensity, the vertical play. If they don't hit that standard, they'll be replaced.
That is fascinating. For a club that's so often defined by loyalty, to apply that test to everyone is, genuinely ruthless.
It is.
So if they are that committed to replacing players, what kind of profiles are they looking at? This sounds like they're buying functions, not just names.
That's the strategic difference, exactly. They're looking for 3 distinct attributes to get total balance.
Okay.
First up is Adam Wharton. He's the intelligence, the tempo control. The reports describe him as a high-volume, progressive passer, incredibly calm under pressure.
So a deep-lying playmaker type.
Exactly. And the reports explicitly say he has shades of Carrick, that quiet authority, the ability to just dictate the rhythm of a game.
That shades of Carrick comparison really stands out. I mean, that's a specific kind of English midfield heartbeat they haven't had since, Scholes and Carrick left.
It really is. So Wharton is that control. Now, contrast that with the second target, Elliot Anderson.
Anderson's different.
Completely. He's pure dynamism. Technically gifted, works his socks off, versatile. He's that high-energy, box-to-box presence who can link everything together.
But he's the expensive one.
Expensive is an understatement. The sources say United's interest is concrete, but the asking price is, and I quote, eye-watering.
How eye-watering are we talking?
100 to 120 million pounds. It puts a huge premium on that dynamism.
Wow. Okay, and the third profile?
The third is Carlos Balaba. He's all about physical deterrence. Raw physicality, power, presence, a real enforcer.
So you have control from Wharton, dynamism from Anderson, and then sheer strength from Balaba.
That's the idea. The question is how he blends them all together.
And that question leads us to this major contradiction in all the reporting, right? The urgent need for a midfielder versus the club's new financial discipline.
Right, because despite the Africa Cup of Nations coming up, which is going to stretch the squad thin, Sky Sports is reporting that United are not expected to make any major signings in January.
So they're just going to wait it out.
That seems to be the gamble. The internal mantra, according to these sources, is now discipline, not desperation. The big midfield signing is a summer move.
But what's the risk there? If they wait, they could lose a target like Wharton to a rival, or maybe they just fall too far behind in the league because the squad is fragile.
And that's the critical tension they're managing. The sources imply the new regime, backed by INEOS, believes the risk of making another impulsive, poor value January buy is just. It's greater than the risk of some short-term lag.
So they're sacrificing the now for the integrity of the long-term plan.
That's the bet they're making.
Okay, that focus on structure brings us nicely to the tactical side of things. We all know Amorim and his signature 3-4-3, but there are reports of new discussions between him and Jason Wilcox about adapting that.
Yeah, and what's so fascinating here is that Amorim himself recognizes that the 3-4-3, for all its strengths, can sometimes struggle against those deep defensive blocks.
Press resistance, getting into those half spaces.
Exactly. So the sources confirm he is experimenting pretty extensively with 4-3-3 formations in training.
So this isn't him ripping up his own playbook, it's about adding flexibility.
That's it precisely. The goal isn't a total system change. It's more about helping the players understand certain phases of play better. Transitions, build-up patterns.
Fostering intelligence, not just intensity.
You got it. They're learning how to structure themselves for better verticality, quicker combinations, no matter how the other team sets up.
And you can see that exact requirement, that need for verticality, reflected in the goalkeeper choice last summer, which was a bit controversial.
Absolutely. The keeper is the first attacker in this system. The reports indicate Amorim, he personally wanted the World Cup winner, Emiliano Martinez. He valued that intensity, that experience.
But that's not who they got.
No. The scouting team, led by Tony Cotton, they pushed hard for the younger Belgian, Senna Lamens. He came in for about 18 million pounds.
And Lamens is that modern profile. I saw Wayne Rooney praised him specifically, saying his direct passing has really brought the best out of that forward line.
Right, the attackers who thrive on that quick vertical service. Shows the whole vision is integrated.
But Lamens is still young.
He is. And the sources suggest United could actually go back in for Martinez in January, especially if Altay Bayindir, the backup, moves on.
But why bring in Martinez now if Lamens is doing well?
Mentorship and competition. It's about bringing in a proven world-class operator to just raise the bar for everyone in that department.
Okay, so we've seen the long-term planning, the tactical shifts. But the biggest test for Amorim right now isn't a choice. It's managing these crises. Starting with that awful injury to Benjamin Sesko.
Yeah, this is a really worrying one. He suffered that knee injury against Tottenham, and you could just see the frustration on his face. He knew it was serious.
And it's been confirmed.
His Slovenian teammate, Andras Sporar, basically confirmed it, said they don't expect Sesko to join the national team this week, which that suggests a pretty significant layoff.
So with your main striker out, what are the options? The sources lay out 3 contingencies. What's the most likely fix?
The most likely is probably the strikerless option.
Okay.
So you'd see Kuna used in a false 9 role, which actually worked quite well against Spurs and Liverpool. It's the path of least resistance.
But that causes a knock-on effect elsewhere.
It does. It means shifting Bumo over to the left wing, pushing Ahmad further up, and maybe using Mazraoui at right wing back to keep the width.
That rotational ability is key.
Okay.
What about the other personnel options?
Well, option 2 is a big chance for Joshua Zirkzee.
Who's been looking for a move, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
He's reportedly been pushing for a January exit because he's not getting minutes.
Yeah.
But this injury opens the door for him. We know he impressed last season, so this is a real sink or swim moment for him.
And the third option is, it's a nice nod to the club's history, even in this ruthless new era.
It is. It's calling on the 17-year-old from the academy, Chido Obi. And that move would uphold the club's incredible 88-year tradition.
Of always having an academy graduate in the matchday squad.
Yes. It's a nice touch, showing Amorim is committed to that DNA, even as he's rebuilding everything else.
Thankfully, there is some good news from the medical tent, which is a huge boost, especially for that midfield we talked about.
It is. Kobbie Mainoo had scans on a minor knock, but they came back clean. He's expected back right after the international break.
Which is huge. They desperately need his balance and stability in there.
Massively. And Harry Maguire, too. He was subbed off just as a precaution with a small ankle issue, but he's also fine and available after the break. He's been so quietly reliable under Amorim.
He really has found his form again. But the most intriguing injury situation is Lisandro Martinez.
Yeah, this one is fascinating. He's been out since February with a serious knee injury. He's not fully fit. And yet, United released him to go train with Argentina.
That sounds like a massive risk, sending a key player who's still recovering away from your own staff. Why on earth would they do that?
It was a calculated risk, a measured decision. The belief is that he'll benefit more from training at that high level with Argentina's medical staff.
Because they specialize in managing their own players through these windows.
Exactly. They see it as a coordinated, high-level approach that could actually speed up his recovery more than a standard club rehab program. The goal is for him to get a cameo return soon after the break, maybe against Everton or Palace.
Okay, so if we take a step back and look at everything we've unpacked here, the long-term planning, the ruthless standards, the transfer discipline, and these immediate crises, what's the final takeaway for you, the listener?
Well, the sources really paint a picture of a leadership team juggling huge ambition with some very real pragmatic constraints.
That's the core challenge, isn't it?
It is, balancing that desire for elite targets, the expensive Anderson or the clever Wharton, with this new mandate of discipline, not desperation, no big January transfers. They're trying to build this perfect system, but they have to survive the next 2 months first.
And here's the final thought to leave you with, building on all of that. If Amorim is willing to fundamentally evolve his prize 3-4-3 system just to improve the team's structure, and if the club is willing to send a key injured player like Martinez to train abroad because they trust another medical team more, well, how radically flexible does a top manager have to be to succeed in the Premier League today? It suggests that the final phase of this rebuild might not be about finding the perfect players, but about mastering absolute, relentless adaptability across everything: strategy, tactics, and even player management.